Okay, so this is one of the last screencasts that I'll need to make for our film club. And what it'll really detail is the movies that I have used, the mini movies on YouTube, which help us frame the content that we're studying or working on in our film club. So if you go into my film club channel, which is right here, you can see the films that I've used from YouTube to help us detail the content that we cover in our club on Fridays. The very first one that we used, because our first unit was actually animation, was this flipbook video on YouTube.
That I currently use. So this is what you're going to need: a stack of paper, binder clips, and a light source. For your paper, I recommend starting with index cards. You could use a stack of post-it notes or a notepad or, the corner pages of your math book, but I recommend cards because they are thicker and much better to flip. We'll start with something super simple. I'm just going to draw a stick man, and I'm going to have him wave.
So I'm going to go over to my slide right here,
from page to page is you need
and
to
I'm going to put in a number,
your current page to your previous
and this is
so
the URL for
page.
flipbooks that we use in our film club.
Previous page, draw over the top of it, and make any changes I want. I'm speeding up the video here, and again, this is just super simple to kind of show you basically how it works. So I'm tracing over his body and moving his arm a little bit for each page.
We spent a lot of weeks on animation. After we made flip books, we studied Steamboat Willie, one of the original animated features that was ever made. And then we moved into comedy. And kind of like one of the screencasts that's on movie treatments, the essence of a comedy is making sure that the writing that you have in your treatment is funny. So this is the TED Ed video that we used on YouTube to talk.
Babies. Fast.
Unfortunately, I'm getting an ad here, so I'll pause it.
Did you ever notice how many jokes start with, "Did you ever notice?" And what's the deal with "what's the deal"? There's a lot of funny to be found by simply noticing the ordinary, everyday things you don't ordinarily notice every day. So if you'd like to add a little humor to that story or speech or screenplay you're writing, here are a few tips and tricks for finding the funny. All great storytelling, including comedy writing, consists of a handful of basic ingredients: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Writers have been asking these questions since at least the 1st century BC, yet none.
So I added this TED Ed talk, How to Make Your Writing Funnier, to the link here, number 2 in our slideshow. This is an excellent, excellent TED Ed talk. The comedy that we watched, I don't think I've mentioned this in other screencasts, was The Truman Show. Jim Carrey is hilarious, and even if he's in a film that almost is like a pseudo-documentary, The Truman Show itself has a twist in it, so that's why I'm calling it a pseudo-documentary, because sometimes there's narration within it like you might find in a documentary. But it's a great example of a comedy within that genre because Jim Carrey's just so funny. His body language, his expressions, his level of sarcasm. He's just a funny guy to watch. It was cool when we were studying comedies to watch The Truman Show in our film club. We moved into drama next. And drama.
This week I challenged myself to make
we've got
a
another
dramatic
ad,
movie trailer,
unfortunately.
but here's the catch. So
this is a great example because this guy, this filmmaker, used stock footage to make something look just like a movie trailer and added really dramatic music. So it was a good way for us to see how music can be added to footage to make something seem dramatic and serious.
The floods, they come every year. We've got used to that. this time, something has changed.
So I've added that dramatic film trailer link to this slide in case you want to watch
Now, I
it.
should start by saying that, of course, there are tons of different ways to make trailers, and they don't all need to have fades to black and this sound. But even so, there are still plenty of things we can learn from the cliché trailers. Now, how do we decide which shots make it into the trailer? For me, that meant looking through thousands of stock footage clips. There are plenty.
When we moved into documentaries in our club, I used a video to talk about all aspects
You have to
of
understand one
pre-
thing
and post-production.
about directing. That
And I will put that into our
Hey
slide
everybody,
as
Rob
well.
here. Today we're going to talk about all the things that you need to do to make an amazing video. In particular, we're going to talk about pre-production, which is all of the things that you need to do before you grab the camera. Then production, which is everything once you grab that camera and you start shooting. And then post-production, which is the process of taking that footage, ingesting it, and making the final product. This is kind of giving you a feel for what we're going to be talking about in this course. And then we're going to go into detail in future videos here with each of the individual steps and explain them a bit further. All right, let's get started with pre-production. All right, now the very first step in this whole process is coming up with your story. What is the idea that you want to make a film about? Oftentimes I will actually take a notebook like this. This is a good way to keep track of your story ideas.
Really
I'll write
excellent
them down
background,
here
not
whenever they
just
come
for
to mind, and then I can
documentaries,
refer
but
back
just
to
how
them
to write a
later.
good
The next
treatment
step is
before
thinking
you
about
shoot.
your audience. Now this is really important because
And I got that
whoever
link
your audience is and how they're going to see
into
it
our
is
slides.
going to
And then the last video that we used in our club was this one that talks about 7 steps to make a good documentary.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jesse Cervantes. I'm a filmmaker, and today I'll be teaching you how to film a short documentary. We'll be going over 7 basic fundamental steps that I use when I film. I'm going to keep this to the point and short, so if you do have any other questions, please comment below. This is going to be shot in the documentary style, rule of thirds, so you can kind of get a feeling of what the documentary is going to look like. So this could be a bit challenging. Sometimes it's hard to find an idea that you want to film or what you think others will want to watch. What you'll come to find out is you just have to find somebody who does something interesting. It doesn't have to be a famous person, a pro athlete, among other successful people. Everyone has an interesting life, and the best way to find a visually compelling story is to think about the B-roll. What are you going to show visually to help propel the story in the direction you were looking for? This could be a really fun part. Go watch a bunch of short documentaries. You can do a simple search on YouTube or Vimeo's website to find different documentaries.
So now, in this particular slideshow, which I can put into this screencast and also share with people if they want to shoot me an email and say they want it, you'll be able to see literally everything you study, different genres of film, and also concepts in film. So again, we meet Fridays at 3:05. We're done at 3:45. And we've had a really productive class. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. And if you're a parent of a child who's been coming to Film Club, join us sometime. We'd love to have you and show you what we've been working on and also talk to you about what we've been studying. So until next time, enjoy your day and thank you for your interest in Merrill Middle School's Film Club.